Alright, guys. We just had a fantastic episode of Classroom of the Elite today, filled with lie after lie after lie, and the forming of a very important pact for our series moving forward. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I love the quotes that they put in the beginning of the episodes. It really just sets the tone perfectly for each episode, every time. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I wanted to say that because it really does. Second that quote came up, I was like, alright, let the mind games begin. And that's exactly what we got today with Classroom of the Elite, Season 2, Episode 3. So let's just get straight into it and talk about it. So our episode begins immediately after Episode 2 ends, actually, with Ayanokoji and Yukimura looking over Kei as she's getting pretty brutally bullied, actually. I'll admit, it's a little tough to watch. But they're watching. Yukimura wants to instantly step in and stop this, but Ayanokoji tells him to wait. Wait, we need to see what happens more. Because he obviously has a plan, and we'll get into that in a bit. But he tells him to wait and to let this progress a bit further. And at some point, Yukimura eventually says, alright, I've had enough. We need to stop this. Like, what are you doing? So he runs over there. He completely yells at these girls. They go off. And Kei is there crying. But instead of saying thank you, she just storms off herself and says, leave me alone. Leaving them completely confused. Or at least Yukimura. And that's how our episode begins. And it's here in this scene that we get our main focal point of our episode, and really a very impactful scene moving forward with Ayanokoji deciding, alright, I think it's time I should enact my plan. Because we transition over to him in his bedroom, noticing the fact that the Venus group has actually left the competition now as well, meaning that another class's VIP was discovered. Further emphasizing the point that Ryun made in the previous episode, that Class C is going to win. So Ayanokoji decides to himself, alright, it's time. I need to strengthen the pieces that are under my control. So he decides to enact his plan. And it's at this point we transition to Kei, who believes that she's meeting Haruta in what appears to be the boiler room of the ship. But he's not who she meets down there. She actually meets with Manabe and the other girls from Class C. And Kei is, of course, terrified, like, oh, what's going on here? And the Class C girls are prepared to end this once and for all with her, I guess you could say. Because they corner her and they figure out, actually, that, oh, you used to be bullied all the time, huh? So they literally push her against the wall, guys. And this has gone past, like, harassment at this point. This is like literal assault, as they're literally just smacking the absolute shit out of her. Forward, backhanded, all that. They even get the girl Rika, who they claim they're doing this for, to participate in it. And of course she doesn't want to do it at first, but she starts getting into it eventually, saying, oh, I kind of like this. And they are literally just beating the hell out of her, as Ayanokoji watches from above as his plan is fully underway. Because you see, for his plan to happen, he needs Kei to be at the absolute rock bottom. He needs her to be at the lowest of the lows. And in this moment, it's revealed that he's the one that actually sent Manabe and all of them there to find her in the first place. He manipulated the entire situation to put her in this state of mind, to put her in the absolute gutters, this rock bottom. And it's at this point, when she's at her lowest of her lows, when Manabe and the other girls have left and she's there crying alone, that Ayanokoji goes and makes his move. He approaches her saying, oh, you've been bullied once, you're always going to be bullied, huh? She's like, you were watching the whole time? And she attempts to call Haruta, and Ayanokoji's like, don't bother. Like, I know you guys aren't dating or anything. I know this is fake. I know you've been bullied. I could expose you whenever I want. And she's like, what do you want? My body? And he's like, I just might. And he actually tells her to spread her legs. And before you think, oh, what a scumbag, there's a purpose to it. As she does start doing it, he wonders, like, why would you do something like this? The amount of fear it would take to do something like this completely willingly is unnatural. What are you hiding? And it's at this moment he pulls her shirt up a bit and reveals the giant scar that she has across her stomach and calls it her darkness. Just showcasing just how badly she's been bullied over the years, guys. And he starts explaining to her that there's darkness in this world, Kay. And people that have darkness within them are attracted, or not attracted, but like are pulled together. But the one with the greater darkness always devours the other. And it's at this moment he enacts his plan and says, from here on, I'm going to protect you. Better than Haruta or anyone else ever could. I'm going to be the one here for you. But you have to do something for me. You have to work within my interests, and I'll work within your interests. And right now, we need to win this competition. So they start enacting a plan together. And he shows her that he recorded the whole situation and tells her that if these girls ever try to do this to you again, show them that you have the entire video of this and that you'll expose them for it. But I also need you, like that handles her situation, but he needs her basically to handle the girls in Class D. She's like kind of the figurehead of all of them. So if he can use her to kind of wrangle everyone in, he can have control over the class to where no one's an outlier. No one's going to be a problem. Everyone can stay in line so that they can all advance to a higher class position. And yeah, let me just say, guys, this is a more meaningful scene than you realized. We'll leave it at that for now. And it's here that we transition actually to the final meeting between our group of characters. What were they? The Mars group? Between their final meeting to decide who the VIP is. Now, they've made no headway whatsoever. None. They are no closer to finding out the VIP than they were before. So, Class B actually proposes something. They propose that we're all here for our own interests, right? We all want some points at the end of the day. So everyone show your phone right now. And their idea is if we all can figure out who the VIP is and not say anything, then everyone gets points and everyone wins. So of course, people start doing it. People are reluctant to do it, of course. Even Ayanokoji puts his phone up. And then we only get a couple people who don't. And it's revealed that Yukimura, who is in Ayanokoji's class, was actually the VIP. And everyone's like, all right, we all know now. As long as someone doesn't turn him in early, we're all going to win some points. But Ichinose actually calls the phone and reveals to everyone that, wait a minute, I don't have Yukimura's number. I called Ayanokoji's phone. What's going on here? And it's revealed that they actually switched phones and that Ayanokoji is the VIP. And everyone in the room is appalled. Like, oh, I thought we were doing this together. Like, why would you try to lie to us, Class D? And everyone's furious as they're leaving the room. Yukimura's freaking out like, this is the worst case scenario. Even the guy from Class A is like, oh, I hope someone doesn't betray your trust. But this is all a part of Ayanokoji's plan. Because after the meeting, he meets with Kei. And it's revealed that she was actually the VIP the entire time. And we backtrack a little bit to their meeting in the boiler room, where he tells her, all right, I know you're actually the VIP, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Me and you are going to switch phones, and then me and Yukimura are going to switch phones again. We're going to have people believe that he's the VIP. Someone's going to doubt it and reveal that it's me. So they're all going to think, oh, we were lied to. It's actually him. So they're going to focus on him, not knowing that you were the VIP the whole time. And then she figures out, like, well, wait a minute. How does this work if someone calls the phones? We can change our phones, but we can't change our numbers. And if someone calls the phone, then the plan is ruined. Exactly like Ichinose did. But there's a catch to it. Remember, guys, everything in this show can be bought. Everything. Remember that going forward. Because Ayanokoji actually switches out the SIM cards in the phone. Because it's revealed that earlier in our episode, he met with Sai earlier and bought the way to unlock the phone so he could switch out the SIM cards in the phone. So completely throwing everyone off. No one knows that it's actually Kei. And it's a brilliant plan. Until, of course, Ichinose shows up and says, yeah, I kind of figured that from the beginning. And she kind of just played along with it, because Class B was going to do the same plan. And Ayanokoji asks her, like, well, why would you go along with that? Why didn't you say anything? And she reveals that regardless of how this happens, if we keep this a secret, we'll all get points. We'll still benefit, so it doesn't really matter. Just showing how shrewd Ichinose actually is. And how she is very much a potential threat in the future. But for now, her and Ayanokoji are on good terms, and they think they pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. So now we go to the results of the test. And the results are really not what people were expecting. Class A lost 200 class points. Class B had no change. Class C got 100 class points. And Class D got 50 class points. So it is a resounding win for Class C. And they're all shook. They're like, how the hell did this happen? Ryun was right. Class C actually did win. And this is when the man himself actually approaches saying, see, I told you we would win. I told you we had a foolproof plan. And he kind of starts teasing Horikita like, you're next on my list, Horikita, I told you this would happen. I love the look on your face right now, the look of desperation and hopelessness. You're next on my list. We're coming for you in the second term. Just really showcasing how much of a threat Ryun actually is. Like, he seems like the type of guy in these shows where you're like, oh, he's all talk. No, guys. No one is all talk in this show. This man is a threat. And he showcases that wholeheartedly in this episode. And that's how our episode ends, actually. With that scene. And this was a very impactful episode for the show moving forward, guys. We got a lot of very important things that do impact our series going forward, whether you know it yet or not. So you guys let me know what you thought of this episode. All the twists and turns, the backstab upon backstabs, Really showcasing why I love this show, personally. Because right when you think something's going to happen, they're like, nah, this is actually what's happening. Oh, you thought you figured that out? Actually, this is happening. And I love that about this show. So you guys let me know what you think of it down below. Another banger episode of Classroom of the Elite. Very important one, too. But that'll be it for today's episode, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And remember, don't get backstabbed upon backstabbed. And bullying is wrong. It really is, seriously, though. But until next time, guys, deuces. Just have a blessed day.